could you make me wait this long?
I'm sorry I made you wait so long, Luluca. And I'm sorry I made the rest of you wait so long for the way to handle Challenge Stage 2, or what most of us are calling Stage 5 of this event. It's awful. I mean, it's really awful. It was always hard before to do this without a B imprint or higher Luluca, but they made it even harder this time. This time they added this mechanic. You see it there? That is a berserk. If you take too long, Lethe will go berserk and wipe your whole team. This wasn't here last time. For some reason they decided not only will we release the same predatory event that we promised we'd never release again, but we'll make it harder this time by putting a berserk mechanic in it. So a lot of the teams that I came up with were working fine until Lethe went berserk because they were going too slow. So you have two options for this. One is you pull for Lethe and then you get an imprint, which is tough because it's a triple banner. So unless you luck sack into one and then buy the dupe, or you go to pity twice, your only option is to pull for this unit, get it, and then go over to the shop, and for the low price of $100, you can buy an imprint for your Luluca so you can farm this event. Well, so you can complete this event. I'm not okay with it. It's very scummy, and I let them know. But for those of you who have no Luluca, or have Luluca with no imprints, this is a team that works. It is not free to play friendly. If you're free to play or you're relatively new at the game, you just don't do this stage. Look, all you're missing out on is a sticker for your profile card that you're probably never going to use. I don't think I've ever seen a profile card with this on it, except for like right after the event last year where people were flexing that they got it. But for those of you with these units and these specific units, I don't know that we have many, if any, substitutions, but I will go over them and try to help you find a way through this event. First is Roana. There is no substitution for Roana outside of a B imprint or higher Luluca. A base Luluca won't be enough, and there is no unit that can handle what this stage throws at you unless you have an imprinted Luluca or a really good Roana. And by really good, I mean you will need her to be bulky as hell. Just throw as much HP as you can on her. Give up effect resistance, give up speed, give up everything you can to give her as much HP as you can, and give her Shamadra staff so that her healing power is increased by 30%. You will need this or she won't keep up with the damage. Next on the team is Remnant Violet. Remnant Violet is an evasion unit, and we're trusting on evasion a lot to get us through this. Double-edged Decrescent is going to be his best artifact for this, just because it gives you the counters, which will let you burn through this quickly, because we're up against the timer to kill before she goes berserk. Other than that, he needs to be on lifesteal set. No speed set Riolets here. Only lifesteal set, and pen set will help increase his damage output, of course. Try to give him a little bit of bulk, but mostly we're just relying on evasion. You're not going to be able to out-tank this Lethe if she hits. Next on the team is Green Violet. Now, if you don't have Green Violet, you can try to run Savior Auden, but Green Violet is much more consistent because he counterattacks every time he misses, so he's able to self-heal a lot more efficiently. Green Violet, again, make him as tanky as you can while still preserving a little bit of damage. You gotta walk a fine line between being tanky and being able to do enough damage to kill before Lethe goes berserk. I put him on Violet's Talisman because that gives us 27% evasion by the time it's maxed out, 30% evasion if you've got a plus 30 version. But it's just a little bit more evasion, and I want to dodge as much as possible. But if you don't have Violet Talisman, you can run Moonlight Dreamblade or Double-Edged Decrescent on him as well. And Asaria will be supporting the two Violets. Asaria is instrumental in this fight. You want her to be relatively fast so she can cycle her turns. You want her to have 85% effectiveness so she can do all the things she needs to do. and you want her to be bulky enough to take a hit. I know it's a lot, but just sacrifice damage and a little bit of speed, and you should be able to get there. We're abandoning Song of Stars for Prophetic Candlestick. Prophetic Candlestick will cycle her skills so well that hopefully she will be able to keep the buff blocks applied, keep the defense breaks applied, and keep the speed and attack buffs stripped. Team 2 is an easy team. So easy, in fact, you can run Team 2 on full auto. Same Roana again. We're running Last Rider Crow. The reason for Last Rider Crow is he is a barrier spammer, and that helps us be a little bit more survivable. You don't need the 3F artifact, of course. That's just there for a little bit of extra damage. But mostly he's just there with a lot of HP to survive and to spam his barriers when you get hit with AoE attacks. If you don't have Last Rider Crow, you can sub in other units like Falcon or Clury for healing and defense breaks and strips, or Brieg for barriers and strips. Both of those units would work great in place of Last Rider Crow. Next is Lone Crescent Bologna. And she is there to spam multiple return attacks and be our principal damage dealer. You could theoretically replace Lone Crescent Bologna with another high-end damage dealer, but it would be tricky. And last on the team is Seaside Bologna. I've got her on Bloodstone to help assist with the healing. I think that's important. Increases the damage with her S2 is a nice EE. Other than that, just a lifesteal Bologna with a little bit of bulk. The immunity set doesn't matter. In fact, whatever sets you can put on her, maybe an HP set would be a better pick, but I didn't want to re-gear my Bologna for this. And one more time, in case you missed the memo, make sure you have your side story event currency pet equipped. Now, if you do have Luluca's artifact, you can try to run it in place of Shamadra's staff and see if you are survivable. I haven't tested it, and honestly, I don't want to because this team is horrible. I know this is loaded with limited units, and it's loaded with ML5 units, and it requires specific units to be successful. And I'm sorry. It's not my fault. Smilegate did this. I had a free-to-play team that worked, but adding the Berserk mechanic to it killed the ability for anybody to do this with a free-to-play team. You are roped into pulling for, going to Pity to get your Luluca and spending $100 on an imprint pack to be able to do this stage, having these specific units, or just skipping it all together and saying, I really don't care about a sticker for my profile card, which is what you should do. But anyway, for those of you who have this team and can put it together, this is how it works. Okay, for this fight, we want to turn auto off. It's important that you have auto off so that you can fine-tune and control when you do things and who Asaria resets. Sometimes you'll want Asaria to reset Roana for the healing. Sometimes you'll want Asaria to reset Riolet for the damage. You'll also want to be able to soul burn Riolet. Anytime the boss has a defense break up, you'll want to soul burn Riolet if souls are available. There's also times when you're going to want to not use Roana's S3. You'll want to save it for a round. So this lets us play this fight a little bit strategic. You only have to do this once, so do it on manual. I think it's possible on full auto, but you're relying a lot on luck, and you'll probably have to run it many, many, many times.
Get out of my sight. On my word.
Okay, what we need here is buff block and strip. Those are the two things that are most important. Defense buff, the defense break is icing on the cake, but we really need to get rid of this speed buff, and we really need to keep her from getting an attack buff. So show me buff block and strip.
I pledge myself.
Hey, we got everything we asked for. Buff block, strip, and defense break. That'll let Riolet hit extra hard with this S3, doing about 7% of the bar in one hit. Nice.
I know I'm beautiful. How should I do this?
Violet continues to take advantage of the defense break. Nobody is hurt, and nobody's numbers are 3 or 4. And we've got attack down and no attack buff. I'm going to save the S3, so I'm just going to S1 here.
That was never gonna work.
So even though this hit us area, watch how lightly this hits.
Such incompetence.
Without the attack buff, it only did about 10k damage. So she was able to live that easily, and Roana still has her S3. Since Roana still has her S3, you know what? I'm going to reset Riolet.
Get ready.
Show me a defense break. Nice.
You fight as if you
Riolet,
have 9 lives.
drop that bomb. This lifesteal set into that defense break. This should heal him up fully.
No place for you.
You can run. You can't hide. Get out of my sight.
Your life
Nice triggering this into that defense break.
means nothing.
I'll give you a rest.
Okay, we need to strip the attack and speed buff again, so fingers crossed.
In full bloom.
Strip and buff block.
Flowers.
Speak it into reality. Or get
I will shape my
triple resisted. Triple 15%ed. Don't you love 15% in PvE? So this is going to be a little bit harder. Lethe could easily one-shot our units with attack buff, so fingers crossed that we evade like champs.
That was never gonna work.
That is the opposite of evading. Okay, thank goodness we evaded there and healed back up. Hopefully we survive this.
You keep swarming.
Ooh.
You'll only prolong the pain.
your pitiful resistance.
Riolet's extra attacks and Decrescent Artifact really saved the day here. Allowed him to heal
Get out
up.
of my sight.
Now try me. Don't chicken out.
That was never gonna work.
Thank goodness for the miss. It allowed him to heal up, and that might let him survive this hit.
Just a waste of my time. Step back.
Whew. You see how close we get when attack buff is still up? That's why it's so important to have the buff block on. And that's why I was struggling to do this with Fat Cat or with Brieg, is
Free you from despair.
dealing with this with the attack buff up non-stop was just really, really rough. God, we are still 2 turns away. Hopefully after this turn, Candlestick will proc, and next round we'll be able to do the strip and block again. We just have to weather the storm for one more fight. Burned that so I could get the 2-turn defense break so I could burn Riolet
You can run.
and get as much damage on the board as I can.
How long do you think you can last?
Get out of my sight. That was never gonna work. I'll give you a rest.
Okay, we're in good shape now. Who do we reset? I would love to reset. I think I'm going to reset Violet. I'm going to be a little piggy here and reset Riolet. Stick the defense break. And then nuke with Riolet's S3.
My
Let's
sword.
risk it.
As you command.
Show me strip,
Forever.
buff block, defense break.
Myself.
Give me everything. Give it all to me. Show me everything. Nice.
You can run. You can't hide. You keep swarming. You'll only
You didn't just self-cleanse, did you? You annoying garbage unit. I'm sorry, Lethe. I didn't mean that. I was just mad at the event.
Has no place for you.
Okay, we're getting close, guys. Only about 13% to go.
This is just the beginning.
Starting to regret not resetting Roana, but we're getting close. Do we burn this for the break? I think we have to burn this for the break. Here's the defense break.
That was never gonna work.
Come on, Riolet.
Fight as if you have 9 lives. Your life
Come on, Riolet.
means nothing.
Ooh.
You can't hide.
So this is harder than it looks. I have done this successfully 4 times, and I've attempted it about 15. It's not easy, but It's the only way forward I've found so far to do this without Luluca. On to Team 2.
Get out of my sight.
All right, let's have some fun. All systems online.
Now, what makes Last Rider Krau so good here is every time Lethe claps back, he puts barriers on the team, and that really makes you extra survivable.
Rude, ignorant, immoral. These words are too good for you.
That was never gonna work.
Time for Bologna craziness.
Won't work on me.
Get out of my sight.
ML Bologna claps back, causing Lethe to attack, which causes Seaside Bologna to attack back. Crazy. And then Roana hits, and this makes Lethe attack. And this upsets ML Bologna,
You're planning.
causing her to attack, which makes Lethe attack.
Never get close to me. Such incompetence.
Causing Seaside Bologna to attack.
Run before it's too late.
Just like on the prior round, buff block is worth its weight in gold, so we burn this.
This is what you get for ruining my vacation.
Let's defy the odds. You could try a little harder. I win again.
That was never gonna work.
You merely delay the inevitable.
Get out of my sight.
I won't go easy on you.
Bologna counter into Lethe counter into Bologna counter into Lethe counter into Bologna into Lethe attack into Bologna counter into Lethe
It's just a
counter
waste of
attack.
my time.
My
Crazy. We definitely burn this so that we can heal up with our
That
Sigurd
was never
Scythe.
gonna work. You can run. You can't hide.
I'm well
This part can be run on auto. It's a little bit more stable, but why? Why bother running this on auto when you can manual it and make it a little bit safer?
Why don't you just surrender? Shall we bring this to a close?
Krau should be dropping some big damage now with the bike.
Step back.
Get out of my sight.
You merely delay the inevitable.
Really should have put some effectiveness on my Bologna to more reliably stick defense breaks in targets. Hindsight being 20/20, you guys should do that. Try to get your Bologna up to 85% effectiveness. Let Dark Bologna be your principal damage dealer. Just give Ice Bologna enough damage to keep her healthy from lifesteal, but really consider
Along the pay.
some effectiveness on that unit.
Is that all you had to show me?
That was never gonna work.
I'm well aware of what you're planning.
You can run. You can't hide.
It's too late to back out now.
I'll show you how I do. All systems online. Let's go, Siegfried.
You merely delay the inevitable.
Bologna attacks, triggering a Lethe attack,
Such an
which will trigger Seaside Bologna.
This
Nope.
is just the beginning.
I thought she had full focus. Okay, good time to heal up.
Must wreck us. Please protect us. I'll wrap things up momentarily. Utter disgrace. You belong in the dirt.
Get out of my sight.
I'm well aware of
Clap
what you're
back.
planning.
You can run.
Activate,
You can't hide.
causing a
Let's
clap
start with
back.
something light.
That was never gonna work.
Cheap tricks
Causing
won't
another
work
clap
on
back.
me.
Let's defy the
Lovely.
odds.
We're getting close. 20% to go, guys.
You could try a little harder. I win again.
I'll show you what I've got.
Hey, we got a target buff, or target debuff.
I
Lucky
won't
hit.
go easy on you.
dealing with you
Tank it, Crow. Tank it.
is just a waste of my time.
It's too late to back out now.
Hey, we got a defense break. Holy smokes. Go get him, Bologna.
You merely delay the inevitable.
Why don't you just
So much better with a defense break, guys. If you can put some effectiveness on your ice Bologna, definitely do it.
I'll pierce straight through.
Is that all you had to show me?
I'm going to burn this into that defense break for some really good damage. Bam!
Get out of my sight.
I'm well aware of what you're
And we
planning.
counterattack into a counterattack
Can't hide.
into a counterattack. Crazy. Counterattack into a counterattack. Into a counterattack. Into a counterattack.
Work on me.
Into a counterattack. Into another attack. Holy smokes. Play the animation.
You merely delay the inevitable.
And she's dead. It's good. Holy crap. That was not fun. And I know it's not going to be fun for you guys, but if this lets those of you who have either Luluca with no imprint or no Luluca at all, but also have these units clear this event, then I am happy that I was able to help. For those of you who do not have these units, there are a handful of substitutions that I mentioned, but not a lot. There really is no substitution for Seaside Bologna. There really is no substitution for Assaria. And it's really hard to substitute Remnant Violet or Violet. You could potentially use Auden in their places. Lone Crescent Bologna is also very difficult to substitute, but you could try a high-end damage dealer. Crow, I'm pretty sure you could replace Crow with Brieg. Might even make it more consistent with Brieg's defense breaks, but Crow did contribute to the damage, and his shields were really, really nice. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it more than I enjoyed making it. This will be the last video in the first half of the Lethe farming event series. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments section, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great one, everybody.